When I shake hands, I make sure that I web the middle of my hand and I squeeze firmly and I look at the person in the eye. It's like, that's thing one. Thing two is that when we're talking, like you nod because you've been doing this for so long. But some people who don't know how to have conversations just stand like this. But somebody who's an active listener will nod. They'll say, oh, that's a great point, whatever. And so it's like, that's a second thing. When I walk into a room, I'm going to call people by name. It's a third thing. And so when I try and think about these traits of who I want to become, it's like, can I break these down into actions that I can actually do? Yeah. And so I think there's been a large part of the growth that I've hopefully, been able to achieve. But in terms of the ultimate goal, for me, it's always just been to be useful. Mm-hmm. And if I think I just do that, then I like that it's such a simplified goal because being useful it actually includes multiple parties because you cannot be useful unless there's someone else you're being useful to. Mm-hmm. And so it gives you something controllable, which is that I have to learn skills so that I can serve someone else. And that is how I can ultimately be useful. Mm-hmm. And so even when we're making content or whatever it is that we're putting out, I always try to think like, is this useful? Like, can someone will this change someone's behavior? Like, I want to educate. It's like, well, what is education? It just means same condition, new behavior. So if someone has said their same day over and over again, then they're not learning. So if your day looks the same every single day, you have learned nothing. Mm-hmm. And so that means that if you listen to this podcast and then nothing changes about your behavior as a result, this was just entertainment, not education. And so that has been it's a very sobering point because you realize, oh, I have to change my behavior in order to demonstrate that I have learned. Now, the second component of this is like, okay, well, what's intelligence then? So intelligence, as I define it, is rate of learning. So how quickly do I change my behavior in the same condition based on some stimulus? Mm-hmm. And so if you in a very real way, you can influence your intelligence by being willing to change faster. And so if you've heard 10 podcasts and then you eventually change versus somebody who listens to one and then changes, that person is more intelligent than you are. And so I see that as actually really encouraging because it means like, oh my God, I have an active control on how quickly I can learn simply by changing my behavior. Mm-hmm. And so that has been kind of my modus operandi for how I live life.